Please join me in welcoming a tremendous aviation person through and through, Randall J. Babbitt, the 16th Administrator of the FAA.
I am truly honored to be here, especially with such a great, august group of speakers that you've assembled. And it's always great to be able to get up and chat with folks about aviation. I just got back from flying. I've been to Osaka and Beijing over the last few weeks. When I got back, I threw in a trip to Las Vegas over the weekend before coming here. So I've had about 44 hours in airplanes in the last 9 days. But that's given me a lot of time to think about a few things. Think about the NBAA and what you do, and thinking about what I might say to you today about aviation and some of the issues that are out there. And I'd like to make two pitches, if I could. One dealing with SMS, safety management systems, and the other for professionalism. And that's been a subject that's been in front of us for a little bit. But let me start the discussion on SMS. And I know you're going to think I'm wandering off here, but I want to focus this on anesthesia. What was created to make a patient sleep or at least render them oblivious to pain during a surgery instead became the subject of pretty intense scrutiny. And that scrutiny was over mistakes that were being made, often fatal mistakes. But this trend with anesthesiologists was going in the wrong direction. As mistakes were made, more and more people were losing their lives on the operating table. More and more families took their cases to court. Settlements were reached. But interestingly, the files were sealed. The problem was clear. The solution was evasive. If an anesthesiologist said, this has happened, this is what happened when I did X, they were simply opening themselves up for the potential for a medical malpractice lawsuit. And because these secrets were kept by the court, they stayed sealed. And it's hard to believe, but even 25 years ago, very little was ever actually known about the people who died on the operating table or were injured under the effects of anesthesia. Even harder to believe, this is absolutely amazing, there wasn't a single database of medical records to shed any light on these catastrophes. So finally, a group of anesthesiologists formed the Anesthesia Patient Safety Foundation. Step one was to create a database and fill it. And while they were allowed to redact privacy data, they poured through case after case, and they discovered the gold.
Cirrus Design's Vision SJ50 single-engine personal jet offers exceptional fuel efficiency, flexible seating for up to 7, advanced avionics, and all the Cirrus safety features you expect, including the Cirrus airframe parachute system. With its V-tail design, the Cirrus Vision is technologically advanced, yet engineered to be simple to fly, to allow owner pilots more lifestyle pursuits than any other personal aircraft. Learn more about the Vision SJ50 at cirrusdesign.com.
In one string of cases, this was interesting, there was a filter that was used in the filtration of gases for the patient. And the filter would dry out over the weekend, so that on Monday mornings it was ineffective, and they noticed the majority of these deaths were occurring on Mondays. By having the data, they were able to string the causation together and eliminate the problem. New procedures were developed. New equipment was developed, sometimes expensive equipment. But the mistakes grew further and further apart. Premiums dropped for their insurance. But more importantly, the number of fatalities occurring in the operating room dropped dramatically. The information was always there. It's just that the people wouldn't share it for one reason or another. A lot of them were afraid for punitive action. Others just thought it was best to keep silent. But when someone finally got the bright idea that there was gold to be had on the other side of the curtain, that's when the change came about. There's a line in the Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner that says, water, water everywhere, not a drop to drink. Well, that's us in aviation. There's data all over the place, but in too many instances we can't get to it. And in order to ratchet up to the next level of safety, a next higher level of safety, safety management systems are going to be our only option. When you have as few accidents as we do today, it's difficult to spot a trend on a chart that only has 3 data points on it. SMS is the solution. we've nearly eliminated all of the common causes of aviation accidents. But safety management systems will allow us to identify the precursors. That's the data. That's the gold. That's where we need to begin digging. If you ever have a system where people who are going to be punished for revealing a safety flaw in your system, all you're going to do is encourage silence. When you sweep things under a rug like that, accidents will happen, equipment will be lost, and people will die. So we must avoid the temptation to cut corners because the economy is tight. And I know as well as anybody in this room, as well as anybody in this hall, we are in a very tough economy, one of the worst we've seen since the 30s. But nevertheless, every flight department in here is feeling that pinch. But the stock market should never have a bearing on whether or not people are allowed to speak up, and it should never have a bearing on what we do about safety. If you skip a step here and there, bad things will happen, and when they do, don't be surprised. I don't want you to think that I'm here to criticize. I'm not. My words are simply a reminder that we must step up. When it comes to safety, status quo is never enough. Since 2002, corporate aviation has averaged a fatal accident only 1 in every 3.5 million hours. That's an incredible safety record, and you're to be applauded for that. Commercial aviation is in the same basket with you. We went 29 months without a fatal commercial aviation accident. We've now been 9 months, and there's only been one in that period of 38 months, one accident. We operate 70,000 flights a day. We carry 800 million people a year accident-free, and that's a remarkable record. But the fact that we have one accident, that's one too many. Those accident statistics I just gave you are but a watermark, and we all have to push for safety, push the watermark higher. Now, safety records like that start with professionals, just like the ones that are in this room.
Integra Release 9 sets a new standard with the easiest to use pilot interface in all of general aviation. Access to any of Release 9's powerful capabilities is as simple as pressing the desired bidirectional page key. Pressing the same key in a desired direction navigates to the clearly labeled tabs with no more guessing as to what a given pilot input would do. Avidyne's Integra Release 9 is the next generation in fully integrated flight deck technology, and the easiest to use page and tab user interface is just one of the many benefits designed to make your flying easier and safer.
The fact is, we can't regulate professionalism. That's one thing I have no access to. I can't make anyone a mentor. And we all know that some of the best lessons that we've ever learned in aviation came from someone who was there before us. I would submit that there's not a person in this room doesn't have something really notable in their life that they always remember about aviation, and they probably remember who told it to them. Well, when you think about catastrophes like Tenerife, ValueJet, or even the accident up in Buffalo, there were a lot of red flags there. Someone didn't react appropriately. And in any of these cases, professionalism and mentoring probably would have made a difference. It does add up. So that's why I continue to stress the need for mentoring among professionals. If I close my eyes, I can still remember my instructor glaring at me for something I had done wrong, but then he was always patient and then would teach me the right way to do it. Aviation is a tough enough skill to come by as it is, but aviation is no place to learn it in the School of Hard Knocks. We need strong professionals, the kind that the NBAA is known for, to step forward and become those mentors. If you're already doing it, good, that's terrific. But if you're not, recognize that you probably have some very valuable lessons locked away that you could really help someone someday do the right thing at the right time when no one's watching. So in closing, it's clear that SMS will help us connect the dots with the data. And professionalism and mentoring will help us put it all to good use. In bringing all of this full circle, the story about the anesthesiologist, the discussion of SMS, the need for professionalism, all have a common thread, and that common thread is you. As safe as we are, we still need to be safer yet. We have distance to go. We can go to a higher level of safety. We all need to step up. Each one of us, individually and collectively, need to accept the responsibility for making it happen. Thank you.